1 week ago at Steel City, Pro Circuit Kawasaki's Dean Wilson captured the 250 championship.
And now, your 2011 250 Motocross champion.
I'm not lying when I say this. This is a dream come true. I've literally slept and dreamed about this.
Wilson can now take his place among the greats that have won titles for the Pro Circuit team. The final round of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is set to get underway from Pala Raceway.
We're just outside of San Diego, California for the grand finale of the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the Traxxas Pala National. Hello everyone, Jason Wagen, of course, joined by four-time AMA National Champion Jeff Emick for what should be a great final round of the 250 class here on Speed. Dean Wilson has already wrapped up the championship, but his team still has some history on the line. They want to win all 12 rounds of this 12-round championship. They've won 11 so far. They're in good position to get it done.
Well, and it was a really intense start to the day. But I'm telling you, Dean Wilson, his confidence is there, his speed is there, his determination, everything is working just like it should. He has the momentum. He's going to be hard to beat.
Absolutely, and watch for his teammates, of course, Blake Baggett, Tyler Rattray. They are still battling for second and third in the championship standings. As you see the points there, the 52-point gap, though, for Wilson is enough to wrap up the championship coming in. So no pressure on him, but that team does want to get 12 wins in 12 rounds. How good does Dean Wilson feel? Well, let's find out. We'll send it down to Aaron Bates for the Progressive Pre-Race Report with Dean Wilson.
Dreams come true for Dean Wilson last weekend when he clinched his very first 250 motocross championship. Dean, it has been 1 week. Has it sunk in yet, and how does it feel?
Yeah, it sunk in a little bit. I mean, like I said, it was a shame that my mom and dad weren't there at the race, but you know, they're here this weekend, and I think it's going to sink in if I have a good day today. You know, my mom and dad and everybody, family and friends are here, so should be a good day, and it's sunk in a little bit, but not too much. I think, like I said, after today will be good.
And congratulations to you once again. Dean Wilson, he dominated here 1 year ago, and he looks to do it again here in front of his family and friends today.
4 months ago, the season began at the Hangtown Classic in Sacramento. After 11 rounds and a tour of 10 states, the series comes back to California. Through it all, Jason, Jeff, and Aaron have brought you the action. One more time, the gate will drop, and the 40 fastest riders in the world will race to the checkered flag. Round 12 is next, when the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship returns to Pala Raceway.
Welcome back to Pala. It's the final round of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Southern California, of course, the heart of motocross racing in the U.S. And these 250 riders have already completed their first moto today. We'll show you the highlights. Now, watch immediately off the start. One of the most bizarre crashes you'll ever see. The 37 of Darren Durham up and over. The 20 of Brock Tickle. The 36 of Cole Seeley all down. Taking advantage of that, the 57 of Blake Baggett gets out front. He's got company, though, Jeff.
Dean Wilson here, the newly crowned champion, gets to the inside of Baggett, but this wouldn't be the end of their friction.
15-20 minutes, Wilson would lead, then Baggett would catch back up, and they battled hard. Wilson was able to hold on and get the win, but Baggett was not too happy about some of the tactics that Wilson was using to hold him back. We didn't see anything that seemed that controversial, but Baggett wasn't happy. Wilson, well, he's happy. He's got a championship and now another moto win. That sets us up here for Moto 2. Why do we race two motos? Well, we'll show you with the 4-1-1 breakdown. We run two motos in each of our classes. Each race lasts 30 minutes and 2 laps, and we combine the scores from the 2 races to determine an overall winner for the day. So that's the way motocross races. What about the track? Well, we've talked to some of our top 250 riders about what they think of racing here in Southern California.
Pala was cool. It was a new track for last year. It was one of those that you had to make sure you was hanging on because it was going to take you for a ride.
The track's really cool. They have half the track, and it's kind of jumpy and weaves in and out.
You go to the top, and they got like down and up hills, and then they have that big double.
The sun is actually pretty bad there for a couple of the jumps and hills for seeing, you know, because you got ruts again. You can't see the bottom of them.
I don't know, I just like the track. It's got some elevation changes and
it's just close to home, and that kind of does make a difference.
They always do a good job there. Even when we're out there practicing, they're always ripping it and putting a lot of water down.
Just being the last round of the year, you know, there's a lot of pressure on points leaders, and you want to get out of there with healthy and go home to a little vacation.
Let's check out the track map brought to you by Kawasaki and the all-new 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, off the start, you make a nice sweeping left and a right. That's going to sort everybody out. But the comments today is that this track is fast. Maybe the fastest track ever. It just really opens up in some of these sections. Then you get into the hill sections, that big Lucas Oil tabletop jump. This is that step up and a step down. Massive double jump right through here. 250Fs will be wide open. Then the Huckabuckers. Gnarly whoop section. Couple of S-turns, couple of double jumps onto the finish.
It's what it looks like on board, Jeff.
Here you go. This massive tabletop, this Lucas Oil jump up over the top. And this is earlier today. Track was a little bit wetter, a little more moist, okay? Definitely smoother than what it was earlier. And this is one of the cool jumps here on the track as you jump down again. And here in the second moto, it's going to be rough all the way through. Track's dried out quite a bit. Actually, Gareth almost getting off the side of the track right there for a little bit. This is a pretty cool step up right there where you got to stop to try to hit the inside.
And they'll jump back downhill, back into the view of the spectators. Good footage there, courtesy of our GoPro Hero Cam. Let's check out the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com keys to the race, Jeff.
Well, it's, I tell you, obviously getting a good start. It's going to be really important here today. The track's going to be nasty. The sun has started to set to our left, so behind the riders. So when they're coming back down by the finish line, it's going to be a little bit of shadows on some of those steep jumps. And this is the last race of the year. Leave it all on the table, and I got a feeling the 57 here has got some extra motivation after Moto 1.
Yeah, he was very heated about racing with Dean Wilson. Now we'll explain why he has the red background on his plate. They are running the Motocross of Nations graphics and gear on their bikes. That's a team race that will take place in France next weekend, and Baggett is on the U.S. team. So a little preview of the red, white, and blue attire he'll be running. And that probably doesn't make Wilson too happy. Wilson has the red plate in the series because he's your series points leader and champion. They're going to let Baggett run red in this one. I think they might be seeing red if they run into each other in this moto.
Yeah, but hey, pride is on the line. These guys are going for it each and every time they get on the track. Card's going to go sideways in between 5 and 10 seconds. The gate will drop, and that'll be it. The final race of the year. Here we go.
We're in the midst of 2 hours of live coverage on speed. This is going to be good. Jimmy Dakotas in the 66 swooping through from the outside. He's going to grab the whole shot on the Geico Honda. He's got his teammate 891, Justin Vogel, right there with him.
Well, that's going to make 3 whole shots on the year for Dakotas.
Oh, and carnage there in the first turn. The 70 of Tevin Tapia is down. A whole bunch of riders. Good to see some of the other teams going in there and contributing to help some of the privateers get up. Meanwhile, I think that might be the 210 of Kyle Peters, who is only in his second pro race, who is up front.
Seems to be. Well, Bogle, he's another amateur graduate. Both of these riders, experiencing their opening of their pro career here, so they spent some time together.
Bogle trying to make the move on Peters. About a month ago, these guys were battling at the Amateur National Championship at Loretta Lynn's. Bogle takes the measure of Peters right now, moves into second. Then it's the 35 and Kyle Cunningham making moves. Just got around Alex Martin on the 46. Where are the Kawasaki's? Whoa! And Peters almost comes together with his teammate Cunningham. 210 in the 35.
Veteran and the rookie.
And now we've got one of the Kawasaki's in view. I believe it's Wilson on the green bike, trying to go forward.
Well, this is going to be a big opportunity here for Peters because in his pro debut, we really haven't seen much of him. And it really has been credited to his bad starts. Okay, he just hasn't put himself into position. So I'm really interested to see what this rookie has as far as speed right now. Not really concerned with his fitness so much right now as seeing if for the first 10 or 15 minutes how fast he can run.
And Cunningham keeps the heat on as the 66 of Dakotas leads Bogle. So that's 2 Hondas, 2 Yamahas, another Honda Martin, and then finally one of the Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki's, Wilson, coming into view. Oh, and more riders down.
Morris.
71 of Morris. Man, we can take you through this and show you. I think that might be Tedder on the 583 down with him.
Oh, up the, oh, that's down the drop-off, so all the riders are coming down, and it's a blind section there.
Oh, and that's what happened. Just ran into the bike. They didn't run into each other. Ouch. So we were talking about that big double. You saw that on our GoPro helmet cam earlier. Bogle is now into the lead around Dakotas. So the kid, in just his 4th ever pro race, is out front. He's been getting better, amazingly enough, every week. And he started out really well. He was 5th at his first race at Unadilla, and it's been nothing but solid improvement since then. He's battling with Dean Wilson for the win last week in Pennsylvania, and is now leading with Dakotas, his teammate, in 2nd.
Hey, Bogle's been pretty strong, and if he can get out front and put down some fast laps, get a little distance on, the Pro Circuit Kawasaki guys who really have been the cream of the crop this season.
Yep.
He might have a chance to win the final moto of the year. What a way to go out.
Here's Wilson, who won that first moto. You saw the highlights earlier. He's beginning to pressure Kyle Cunningham as they're hovering around the top 5. And I believe they've both gotten around Peters on the 210. So that would be Cunningham in 3rd, Wilson in 4th, Peters back to 5th.
Jason, this track is really difficult right now. It's gotten really rough and choppy. And as opposed to last year, the riders said that the track was much more hard pack than last year. It was really soft and rutted. Not quite like that, but the good thing is that riders like Wilson, Cunningham, they spend so much time here in Southern California. They know what the track is like. Okay, they ride a lot of laps here on the practice days, and also Marvin Muscan is making his way up here, trying to get past Peters.
Yeah, that is a battle, 210 and 125. Muscan was 4th in the first moto. He was all over those 3 Kawasaki's out front. Now he's in front of a bunch of them.
Oh, he's got the momentum here, though.
Through the huckabuck section, and they both managed to keep the bikes upright, but Marvin manipulates those jumps a little bit better than Peters and is able to take over the spot. And that should be top 5 for the Red Bull KTM rider. There goes Alex Martin trying to make a move now on Peters, and that's what you said Peters was up against. It's a lot different pace at the sharp end of the pack.
Yeah, things are happening pretty quick for him inside of his helmet there, so we'll see if he can stabilize it, possibly get a top 10 out of this. But I mean, you've got Baggett, Tickle, Anderson, Rattray, Swanepoel, Tomac, and Sipes. I mean, some seriously fast guys that he's going to have to ward off, and he's still got 25 minutes plus 2 laps to do that.
Yeah, these are guys who have been up front week in and week out. They've got a lot of experience. Here is Wilson, now up to 3rd as he clears Cunningham and goes after Dakotas and Bogle. Geico Honda team, a mixed season for them. A year ago, they won. Another problem for the Rockstar Suzuki team. Davalos is out. They're working on the bike in the pits. Of course, we saw his teammate Morris down on lap 1.
Looks like the shift lever there, left foot area, is bent in. Now, if he hits something, it would wrap the shifter back. And it looked like for me when what they were doing, they were pushing on trying to straighten that back out.
And Morris, who was down earlier, by the way, that was Tyler Schoberg he came together with, not Tedder. Just want to correct that. Schoberg is back in the race. I don't believe Morris is. Here is your leader, Bogle.
I believe when we cut back to Bogle here that he was actually off the track there for a second. Wilson's in 3rd right now. Bogle cannot waste any time. He's got to put in the best laps of his career if he wants to win this moto.
Well, his career's pretty new. Best laps of his career? Might be able to do that. Will it be good enough to hold off Wilson and the rest of the guys that are be coming after him? Well, you'll have to just keep watching. A long way to go. You see the countdown clock top of the screen. There's 23 minutes and 2 laps left in this moto. Yesterday at the Palo Mesa Resort, the Road to Recovery Foundation held their annual Golf Classic event, raised some money for injured riders. Not only does it help them defray the medical costs, yes, our own Jeff Emig was there, but the Road to Recovery also provides emotional and spiritual help if they should sustain a career-ending injury. So it's a cool way to hang out with the superstars of the sport and raise some money.
I'm telling you, there's some, it hurts.
A little bit of an update here while we're at break. Kyle Cunningham has made the move on the 66 of Jimmy Dakotas. There's Cunningham, and here comes Marvin Musquin looking to make moves on both of them.
Well, and the good ride out of that DNA Shred Sticks Yamaha team, Kyle Cunningham, he's in a points battle with Eli Tomac. Now, after Moto 1 here, how it all shook down, they're separated by 6 points. So Tomac is up 6 points on Cunningham coming into this final moto. Cunningham runs third. Tomac is buried back at 12. I don't know exactly what those points are, but it definitely could change and put Cunningham into fourth overall for the series, which would be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, and that would be the first rider in the series not on a Kawasaki, as they had swept the top 3 spots. Let's talk a little bit about the Frenchman, the 2-time world champion coming over here to the U.S. now, Marvin Musquin, who's really found his stride. Great ride for third last week at Steel City in Pennsylvania. Great ride for fourth in the first moto today, and he's looking for another good run in this one.
Yeah, definitely his confidence is back, and he looks better, on the bike, a lot like at the start of the championship, where he's got this flow and this really, efficient riding technique. I mean, this guy, he's got a great style. But when he came back from that injury, I mean, it just looked like he was fighting it. He just was not flowing, but he's got it now, Aaron.
That's exactly it, Bro. What you had just mentioned, he has been struggling ever since that injury. In fact, he's come back. He's making a strong comeback. He's finally got his confidence. He's got his groove back, but it has been in the back of his mind this entire time, and he openly admitted it. That's what was holding him back this season.
Yeah, definitely those injuries like that, they can really set you back, and to build that confidence, it's tough to do.
Here's a progressive whole shot replay.
And look on the right side of our screen, it was getting ugly there with Swanepoel. Looks like Baggett gets out of there all right. Tickle makes it through this one pretty clean, but a couple of those Geico Hondas getting the whole shot.
Unfortunately, the one Geico Honda, as a rider goes down around the outside, Tomac didn't get the start. And as you mentioned, he is in 12th right now. We'll try to keep tabs on the 19, but his teammate, Justin Bogle, continues to lead. And Mechanic says fun and fast. He's trying to keep the kid loose, keep the pressure off, just have fun out there. Talked to Bogle earlier today. He said he actually was a little under the weather last week at Steel City, so he took this week off. He feels completely recovered and fresh, and he showed the speed to actually battle with Wilson early in that race. So if he has a little more endurance in the tank this time, maybe he can hold on and win it. There's Cunningham in third, Dakotas in fourth. And next in the order, I believe, is going to be Baggett. I think Baggett, yeah, there he is. He has made the move on Musquin. So Baggett and Wilson had some heat after the first moto. Will they hook it up here in Moto 2?
Well, Baggett's going to have to close that gap right now. Wilson's about 4 seconds off the lead. Baggett's another 10 back from Wilson, so he's going to have to pick it up. But I'm pretty proud of Dakotas right here, putting in a pretty strong ride after that great start.
Aaron, give us the fight scorecard there. What went down between Baggett and Wilson after Moto 1?
Well, you guys, I think it's safe to say that as soon as they were on the mule with the management of Mitch Payton, things went mellow very, very quickly. But
okay.
When they got back to the rig, I guess there was a very stern talk that took place, and that kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated whatsoever. So there was definitely, the smack talk is finished. You'll see these guys respectful at the end of this moto, regardless of whatever happens if you're working under the tent of Mitch Payton.
They always ruin all the good drama. Meanwhile, Baggett, he's going to try to catch Wilson anyway. He goes after the 66 of Dakotas, and Dakotas going to try to hold him off around the outside. Baggett has the pass made, so he's one position closer. That would essentially be your battle for the overall. Baggett needs to beat Wilson to win the overall with the 2 motos counting today. And looks like Musquin trying to close in on Dakotas right now. So lots of good battles all over the track. It's still early here on a very rough racetrack at Pala. Anything can happen, so stay with us. We're back at Pala Raceway just outside of San Diego, California, and the kids getting it done. Justin Bogle leads the way. And as we welcome new blood in the series of Bogle, we found one of our old friends trackside down with Aaron Bates. Aaron?
That's right, you guys. We found the 101 of Ben Townley. And Ben, the last time that we saw you race was actually here at Pala last year. A lot has gone on. You've been on the sidelines, but take us through what your thoughts are on this track, the championship that took place, and the drama that's unfolding under the Pro Circuit tent today.
Yeah, it's been a gnarly year. These guys are close. This Pro Circuit team, it was kind of like that for me in Villapoto a few years back, and Mitch doesn't take that crap, you know. He runs a tight ship and he gives everyone the same fair chance, so he doesn't like that going down. But it's turned out to be a good race. This sun is it's going to be tough out there for sure right now, and it's even going to get worse for the 450s later in the day. But right now, it's shaping up to be a good race with Bogle and Wilson for sure. These young kids, they can go.
What are your plans in the future? Are you planning on coming back to race in America?
I'm really not sure yet. I'm over here. I took some time off to get into a better position for my body and just my overall well-being, and seems to be working out really well. I came over here to do some riding in California. I've been riding the last week or so. Mitch gave me a bike to ride, and it's going really well. And so, well, yeah, I don't know, actually. I'll take it as it comes right now, and we'll see what happens.
Ben, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
BT 101, I guess he summed it up better than anyone else could about what happens if the teammates start having problems with Pro Circuit truck. Mitch Payton shuts that down, I'll put it that way.
Well, right now, Bogle's trying to shut down the Pro Circuit guys right now. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a minute.
Peters is in the pits.
And Jeff, you said that would be the challenge, running up front there. It's a whole new experience. Unfortunately for him, not able to make it work, but he's already got a deal, I believe, with that team next year, so plenty of time. Doesn't have to impress in this moto. But Bogle sure is. We're into the final stretch here, almost 20 minutes into a 30-minute and 2-lap moto, and he continues to hold Wilson at bay. Impressive ride by this kid.
It is, and what's going to be interesting here is what happens to him if Dean, which I presume he will. His lap times are definitely there. Wilson's just about half a second faster last time around. How is Bogle going to react? Is he going to make any big mistakes? Is he going to lose his cool, or is he going to keep us cool and run strong lines? Maybe he can hold him off to the finish. I don't know, but so far so good for the rookie Justin Bogle.
There's Wilson second, Cunningham still third, Baggett fourth, and Marvin Muscon is in fifth. Wilson won both motos of this race last year, won the first moto earlier today. He's essentially undefeated at this track. We'll see if he can get Bogle and keep that streak alive.
Well, and for Wilson and his mom and dad, Jackie and Andy, who were not able to be at the race last weekend when he won the title. They were on the road and they missed it. So a 1-1 here today, they'd be some proud parents, huh?
I think they already are. Yeah. But yeah, they want to see it in person. We'll drop back a little bit, try to show you the battle behind them. Here it is, Cunningham and Baggett. And Cunningham, like you said, trying to make up some points on Tomac to maybe take over fourth in the series.
And Jason, he's made up a lot of points because a couple laps ago, Tomac dropped all the way back to 18th. Okay, 18th would have been close to an 11-point gap. So right now, Cunningham, he looks like he's in the position to steal fourth in the championship away and be the first non-pro circuit rider. And that's a huge statement for this DNA Shred Sticks Star Racing Yamaha team. They've had a few great rides here and there, a couple of injuries, a couple of setbacks, but overall, it's been a big season for them.
Yeah, a lot of people considered a two-horse race between Geico Honda and Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki in this 250 class, but this Yamaha team has definitely made its presence known this year. Cunningham has had great runs. Swanepoel won a moto. Ryan Sipes won a couple of Supercross races. Uh-oh, here comes Wilson closing the gap on Bogle.
Yeah, but you talk about needing to win. It's the Geico Honda team. Because like you said, this was kind of shaping up okay. We got these two powerhouse teams in Supercross lights. Pro Circuit won the West. Geico Honda won the East. And it really looked like Barsha and Tomac would be two of the guys to beat.
Yeah, Tomac was so close to that Supercross title. It was a great season for him that just the team just couldn't replicate it outdoors.
Yeah, so this is a shot of adrenaline here for this Honda team. And definitely great to see a rookie being able to step right in and run this sort of pace. Because like I said, I'm more focused on his speed and how he reacts mentally over I Am the Fitness, because you can always build the fitness.
Well, he is definitely not wilted mentally under the pressure from Wilson. The gap has been pretty stable. A little mistake there. So far, so good. Justin Bogle trying to take his first career pro moto victory. got a change for the lead here. Dean Wilson has gotten around the 891 of Justin Bogle, but Bogle did a great job trying to hold the relative veteran off. Here's the pass, Jeff.
Watch Wilson, he's already set up. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Perfect on the brakes, no mistakes. Get that left foot out, leans the bike over, hammers the throttle. Not even close. Wilson draws the shorter line and has more speed. And let's see if Bogle can hang with him. But Wilson, once again, is doing that massive jump at the end of the Huckabuckers, that long whoop section. Wilson has got the line once again. He's the only rider that I've seen do that in that sequence. So we'll see if next lap around, see if he's still using that line to his advantage. We got a little over 4 minutes plus 2 laps here in the season.
Well, it's been a great season for Dean Wilson, so certainly he's going to be a star here as we run down the top 5 moments of this 2011 250 Class Championship. Check it out.
Number 5, Privateer Darren Durham leads High Point.
So Pennsylvania's own Darren Durham in the lead. Yeah, it's like we showed our replay of the old school Tony D, Pennsylvania's own, winning this race. Durham's going to try to do the same.
The 1110 Mons Privateer would eventually race to a 4th place finish, but in the process, Double D turned heads and proved there are indeed some fast riders residing outside of the factory pits.
Number 4, the Chupacabra is born at High Point.
Baggett stayed in it on the outside. There he goes.
And he still makes the pass. So Blake Baggett takes the lead.
Number 3, Geico Honda riders struggle all season.
Eli Tomac, Will Hahn, Justin Barsha, and the rest of the Red Riders spent more time on the ground and in the medic tent than on the podium. A disappointing season for a team that won the title 1 year earlier.
Number 2, Pro Circuit dominates.
Through 11 rounds, the most successful team in the sport's history has won every overall and 21 out of 22 motos.
Number 1, Dean Wilson wins the 250 title at Steel City.
The likable Scotsman was a factor in the American Motocross Tour last year, but in 2011, it has really come together. He outpaced his 2 talented teammates, and with 2 wins and a 2.2 average moto finish, he's bringing the 250 championship back to Pro Circuit Kawasaki.
You know, Jeff, I see those highlights, and it really brings to light how much talent is in the ranks. Dean Wilson, I said before, he's relatively a veteran compared to Bogle, who has only raced 4 pro races. It's only Wilson's 2nd full pro season as well. Throw in all the other great guys in the class, of course, his teammates. We mentioned the Geico Honda team. They've got a lot of talent under that tent. The DNA Shred 6-Star Racing Yamaha team. You got Marvin Muscion on the KTM, and they're going to bring over Ken Roxon, another fast European next year. Look out. This 250 class is loaded 2012.
Yeah, you know that. And it's these young guys coming through. And what has been so great is when Dean Wilson wrapped up this title last year, that soundbite of him just saying, look, you know, I would go to sleep at night dreaming to be the AMA motocross champion. And he's now living his dream. And, you know, you're going to have Ken Roxon over here next year trying to do the same thing as he's doing.
Man, it's going to be good. Wednesday night on Speed, My Ride Rules is all new. See 4 car fanatics face off in the wildest car competition ever. Don't miss an all-new episode of My Ride Rules Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed.
How do I get on that show? I'm going to get my van in there.
Does it rule?
Fix it.
That's
It
the first
rocks.
part.
You know it does.
Okay, it rocks, it rolls. Does it rule? And one way to find out. Hey, you mentioned, sorry about that, you mentioned Bogle. Can he stay with Wilson? He did a pretty good job there. Think he learned something?
I think so, but right now he learned that Dean Wilson is virtually unbeatable because he's pulled out 4 seconds on him. Bogle just had a 220 that last time around, and Baggett's at a 217. So Bogle's got, you know, a little bit of time here, and he possibly could be second in this moto, but the Chupacabra still on the move.
Yeah, that's Baggett up to 3rd, and we'll see if he can maybe pick off Bogle by the end of this one. I don't think anyone's going to catch Wilson, though. He has done a phenomenal job looking to continue an undefeated streak for his team this year and an undefeated streak for himself at this track. Certainly he's had better luck than the kids learning how to pilot the Traxxas trucks. Those things got some horsepower. There we go. They're figuring it out. Stay with us here from Pala. Dean Wilson continues to lead. Back at Pala Raceway, final round of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Checking out Blake Baggett there in the number 57, going pretty fast in his dirt bike. He's up to third here in this final race, but comparatively slow compared to what he did last week. 1 week ago, he actually, after a race in Pennsylvania, headed over to Baltimore and got a ride in an Indy car. Pretty cool situation here, the 2-seat ride. Yeah, that's some speed, a little bit faster than the bike can go. And we had a chance to talk to Blake about what this experience was like.
Yeah, my IndyCar race experience, I got to go to the Baltimore Grand Prix. I'm not even sure how many laps they did, but I got to ride in a 2-seat IndyCar, and that was pretty sick for sure. You got to like feel the course out and see how actually narrow it is, and get a feel for how fast they go compared to how fast we go, which is by far a lot faster. And it was really cool to see how many like G's you pull in the corner just by turning in. You know, you're like leaning against the outside. And all in all, it was a good experience. Got to watch the race. We stood right in the first turn, so that's where all the crashes were. So we got to see most of the race, but it was good. It was for sure one of the funnest times I've ever had.
And he had some fun earlier in the year when he got a couple of wins. And I think at the halfway point, a lot of people thought Blake Baggett was the favorite for the championship. Dean Wilson definitely turned it around. Once Wilson went down to Florida and hung out with Chad Reed, he really upped his game, and we haven't quite seen the same edge, meanwhile, from Baggett over the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, well, there was a combination there. As Dean got it together, Baggett seemed to have a lot of misfortune. Just seemed like his starts were off. He wasn't putting himself in the right position. I mean, we wouldn't see him till the end of the motos. You know, this points race actually is fairly tight here for second and third between Baggett and Rattray.
Yeah, he's only 3 points down as they run right now. Rattray is in 5th. Baggett is 3rd in this race. Baggett could make up 2 points if he can catch Bogle, but he's still 6 seconds behind Bogle. I don't know if Baggett's going to get to do it. And Jeff, you know, there's a difference in bonus money, I'm sure, between 2nd and 3rd in the championship. So that's a lot on the line between those two.
Definitely could be a little bit of pride involved. You know, I wouldn't say bragging rights, but more pride at that point. But Rattray still hammering away.
Yeah, they've got the 125 of Muscown in between them. There is Rattray. Rattray shopping for a ride. He wants to race the 450 class next year outdoors, but he's relatively new to Supercross racing, so he wants to race a 250 in the lights class in Supercross and then race a big bike outdoors. There aren't many teams that run a program like that. Usually you race either a 250 all year or a 450 all year, but Rattray, solid season this year. I've heard there's quite a bit of interest, whatever class he wants to ride. There's a couple teams who would like to get him. He's definitely a proven winner and champion as well. But the champion this year is Dean Wilson. What a way to cap this off.
Took a look over his left shoulder, just wants to see exactly where Bogle is at, because you know Dino here, he can have a little fun on this last lap over that big Lucas Oil tabletop and that double coming back towards the finish. I guarantee we're going to see the drain plug more than once.
Well, I want to touch on that. Last week, after he won the title, I said to Dean, you know, what's the difference? He's stepped up since he became a pro. He was really good as an amateur, but he's been great as a pro. A lot of times, you know, the guys say you got to put in the hard work, or it's the dedication, you know, not getting distracted with all the elements outside. What's funny, he said the opposite. He said what he had to learn was don't overdo it. A lot of riders turn pro and think, well, now I need to ride 3 40-minute motos every day. He feels the more fun he has, the more he has backed down, the better he has gotten.
There you go. Oh,
there's
that was
a
hot.
plug.
Well,
think he's having fun?
Yeah, he's having fun, and you find, you know, I think most of the riders, I mean, for the most part, the riders that are coming through are conditioned for the hard work. I think that we're kind of past that laziness mode that certain riders had. Okay, so they all know that there's some hard work to do, but you get into an overtraining situation, and that actually works in a negative effect too. But he has found the right formula for him, and he knows what works. And I'm going to tell you, he's going to whip it off this big double right here. This thing's wide open on your 250.
There you go. Look at that.
That was hot. That was awesome.
Oh, well said. I didn't even know he had that in the bag of tricks, and all of a sudden at Unadilla he started throwing out these whips, and he started winning races, and he started having more fun, and he started winning even more, and then he won the championship, and now he's going to sweep both motos last week at Pennsylvania and sweep both motos here. This guy is building a full head of steam, not just toward the end of this championship, but setting a tone for the next couple. You want to win in the 250 class, you're going to have to go through the 15 of Dean Wilson, who will wear the number 1 next year. He's your champion and your winner. Dean Wilson sweeps it here at Pala. And Justin Bogle throwing out a old school heel clicker over the finish line jump. He charged hard all the way to the end because he did not want Baggett to get him for second, and he gets the job done. Baggett is going to finish third. Here comes Rattray. He's got his teammate Brock Tickle right behind him. Marvin Musquion, the Marvin attack, is going to take fourth. Rattray fifth. Sixth is going to go to Tickle, and I believe that will be enough for Rattray to just barely hold off Baggett for second in the series standings.
Yeah, and it looks like Kyle Cunningham on the Yamaha dropped back to 8th. Tomac on the last lap was still running 12th, so might put the Honda rider, Tomac, up into 4th overall for the championship.
Yeah, that's one of those rides that will go almost unnoticed. Tomac with a 12th, but he had to dig that one out. So good run by Tomac down the stretch. Of course, great run for Wilson, who takes the win. Bogle, he's got to be just as happy finishing second. Not bad for a new kid. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Pala Raceway is the host site of the final round of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. You're watching 2 straight hours of live coverage on Speed, our 450 title showdown coming up right after this. Wednesday night, the car show is all new as Adam and the boys take a crash course in stunt driving. And then Dan goes old school as he gets behind the wheel of a legendary vintage racer. Don't miss the car show Wednesday nights, 10 Eastern only on Speed. So our final 250 moto is complete. Let's give you the Lucas Oil race recap in that one and show you how Dean Wilson emerged with the win. Seems like the start here has been crazy. It's like guys battling off the line of scrimmage here, bumping and banging around. The 66 of Jimmy Dakotas is going to get the whole shot, and he had his teammate 891, Justin Bogle, right behind him. Watch this on the first lap, big crash. 71 of Ryan Morris is down, as well as Tyler Schoberg, who runs into his bike. Ouch. Meanwhile, Bogle would take the lead from Dakotas and would hold it to the 25-minute mark of this moto, and finally Wilson would find an inside line to take the lead from the rookie. These guys are pretty good friends on and off the track, so no trouble there at racing together. They even congratulate each other on finishing first and second. We'll show you the results. Third went to Baggett. Bogle really had to hustle down the stretch as Baggett was charging hard to try to get him. Came up just a few seconds short. Musquion ends up in 4th. Frenchman Rattray in 5th. Tickle, Swanepoel, Cunningham, Anderson, and Martin round out your top 10. Let's send it down to Aaron Bates.
Dean Wilson undefeated here at Pala. Dean, you came in, it was all for pride. You had that championship all wrapped up, but your family was back there, very emotional. Did this win, was it for them today?
Oh, it was for sure for them. You know, first of all, I was pushing hard to get that win, and then that one, terrible start. I had to come through the pack, and so pumped for my buddy Justin Bogle. He's doing so good, and it was cool. You know, we were out front. You know, it's just like the old days, so it was cool. And you know, I just couldn't do it without the whole team: Monster Energy, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, Thor, Dunlop, Parts Unlimited, Scott, Bands, Volcom, the Dirt Sharks here, Larkin, my mom and dad. Big shout out to Tuo Vesmito for my nice truck. Everybody, this is just like the greatest year of my life, and thank you so much.
You can see the emotion. It's all kicked in all right now. Dean Wilson, the celebration is on.
Well, the motocross season is nearly a wrap, but plenty of great racing coming up on Speed. Of course, Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship kicks off January 7th at Anaheim. That's a live broadcast on Speed. You see the arrow? That's a lot of live television coming up. And don't forget the Monster Energy Cup. $1 million on the line in a one-night-only showdown in Vegas on October 15th. Dean Wilson, by the way, will race a 450 there. That should be fun to watch. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
Such an amazing season for Blake Baggett, but Blake, you've got the look of disappointment right now written all over your face. This isn't exactly how you wanted to go down at the end of the season, I take it?
No, definitely not. I had some highs in the season, I had some lows, and just haven't been able to get it done lately. But my team's been there: Monster Energy, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Advanced, Volcom, Traxxas, SoCal Super Trucks, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my trainer, Alden Baker. Just everybody's been helping me, and just been struggling a little bit. So we'll try to hold it down for Team USA and in France and see what we can do. I mean, just kind of ran out of time, and starts haven't been my greatest thing. But I'll go back and study the videos, and hopefully we can change that before we fly out to France Monday, so I don't got much time.
Best of luck. A hard charge all season long for Blake Baggett.
Here is the overall when we calculate both motos. Bogle had a 10th in moto number 1, so that drops him back to 5th when we combine them both. Look who's on a podium for the 2nd straight race. Marvin Muskian, good job.
Attacks.
All right, let's send it back down to Aaron.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Marvin, this track suited your style ever since the moment you got here. How much fun were you having today, and what does it mean, 2 in a row, the icing on the cake for the season?
I had a lot of fun for sure. It's California, it's Polar Raceway. I used to ride training here, and the track was awesome. I had a lot of fun. So again, my bike was awesome, and my KTM, Red Bull, and my style was not really good today, but my speed was good, and my condition also good. So yeah, third overall again, like last week, Steel City. So it's good, and thanks to Red Bull KTM team. They did a great job for me, and all my sponsors, Oakley, Aero, Lead Brace, Alpine Star. Thank you.
Congratulations on finishing off the season strong.
Let's show you the final season standings. You will not see Muskian in the top 10 because he missed a lot of races with injury. You have to wonder where he would have ended up if he were there all year. And Rattray, there you go, edges Baggett by just 3 points, and Tomac edges Cunningham by 3. Great racing throughout this very competitive 250 class. All right, you can't wait till next year. Fuel your passion for motorcycle racing with Speed Motorcycle text alerts powered by Yamaha. Get the latest moto racing results and breaking news as soon as they become available, sent right to your phone. Text MOTO, MOTO, to Speed, then a number 3 for the alerts right now. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
What an impressive ride for Justin Bogle. Justin, rookie coming in, but you didn't ride like one today. Take us through the feeling of leading those first 10 laps.
It was awesome. I got a Jimmy D hole shot, got around him, and I just led for about 25 minutes. I got pretty nervous, I'll be honest. So saw Dino behind me, he was catching me. We went 1-2 though. It was fun throwing whips over the big jump, so it was cool.
It's a learning curve, but he is a quick learner.
All right, it's all smiles right now in this 250 class, but it is going to get real serious right after this. Our 450 final moto of the year, that championship yet to be decided. Ryan Dungey, Ryan Villapoto, one last showdown, Jeff.
Yeah, but for Dean Wilson, led the most laps, 11 wins out of 24 motos, 3 overalls out of 12. He's a new champ.
Yeah, he's going to be a tough customer. Meanwhile, the Ryans, one last race in the 450 class coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere. History is about to be made.